Hey folks, Mark Devine here with Mark's Daily Brief. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being back. Yeah, this is what happens when you get locked down. Your language capacity just starts to vaporize. At any rate, let's not let that happen. So let's communicate here. Today's Daily Brief is how do you up-level your team by a new communication strategy. So how do you up-level your team with a new communication strategy? How do you become a better team leader and teammate? In the SEALs, we had a saying that you've got to be ready to lead, ready to follow, and you'll never quit. But what's often not taught in the corporate world is that teaming is a skill, just like leadership is a skill. A lot of attention is getting on leadership, but what about being a good teammate and also leading in a team environment when we're sharing the load of leading? It's very different and it's challenging. So one of the ways that I like you to think about up-leveling your battle rhythm and your communication and your team ability is first with rituals. We all have personal rituals, and I've talked about how to up-level those, right now and for the future. What about the rituals you have with your team? Rituals around mentoring, for instance. Do you have a ritual around mentorship of new people on your team or leaders mentoring other teammates or peers mentoring each other? Really important to consider that. It's a really great way to serve your team is to really start to mentor with nothing asked in return. Another is training. How are you training together as a team? Right? I love training with my team, doing op-wads and doing yoga and whatnot. And even while we're on lockdown, we're doing this through live stream. And so we get to train together, whether we're watching each other on a camera or there's, we're practicing social distancing. But what are you going to do? How do you train with your team? There's physical training. There's mental training, such as breath work before meetings that I've addressed before. There's mindfulness training. And there's other team training that you can do together. You can really up-level your team rituals around training. And then the other one is supporting each other. In the SEALs, we had this saying, you got to take your eyes off yourself, put them on your teammate. And this is really evident in the practice we had before and after a mission. To first, you take care of the team gear and make sure that all the team gear for the mission is ready to go. Then you take care of your teammates' gear, and that usually meant your swim buddy or just someone who you just decide to help that day. And then finally, you take care of your own gear. So consider like your situation. What's the mission required? Take care of that first. What's your other team require? And is there a place that you can help one of your teammates? And then you take care of your own stuff. And guess what? If everyone adopts this attitude, then the overall mission gets its needs met really quickly. And then everyone's really being supported because while you go and look at someone else's needs, someone else is looking at your needs. So you got a lot of people. If there's 12 people on your team, you have 11 people watching your back and you're watching their back. Perfect. So let's do that. And then another area we can work on upgrading our battle rhythm is challenging ourselves through daily, weekly, monthly challenges. So daily, challenge yourself to do something hard and productive first thing in the morning. Like my Sea Daddy or mentor, Admiral McCraven, talks about making your bed. That's a metaphor for doing some fundamentally good things for yourself that make you feel good in the morning. So my morning ritual, and you've heard about this before, is to get up and worry about those first words. The first words are, thought and then internally spoken words to make sure they're positive, coming from a place of gratitude and self-care. And then move into gratitude by drinking water, move into box breathing, and then on from there. Well, that is a way, especially when I dedicate that service to humanity, that's a way for me to challenge myself to do that every day. And then it's the cold shower, then it's my 200 burpees. So every day I start out with that hard stuff until it's that, what is uncommon to other people becomes common to me. And that makes me uncommon. So there you go. How can you challenge your team to do hard things daily, weekly, and monthly? And then the last thing, and this is critical, is to improve your communication style. I'm going to do more talks about this in the future, more briefs about this, but your communication style right now requires that you and your team be utterly transparent, that you communicate more frequently, every day if necessary, hopefully, and that you look at your communications and your work environment as a growth opportunity. You're not hiding behind political correctness or hiding behind gossip, or hiding behind fear of confronting someone, even if it's your boss, about their inept communication. Because the way we communicate is the way we express our emotional development and our emotional self. So why not use the team as a means to get that massive growth that comes from really staring down your wolf of fear and your biases and your ineffective communication, which is an expression of your emotional strength. So communicate more frequently, right? Communicate with more transparency so you get to the truth quicker, and communicate brutally honesty with each other so that you get that, unlock that team growth. That's it for today. Reflect upon these principles, make some journal notes, even meditate on them, and trust me, you will grow. And I'm really stoked for you for that. So stay focused. See you next time. Bye now.